It's time to give up the goods on a Friday. This is Bryan Fonseca from basketballnews.com, and we are debuting a new show today. New product that's going to be airing bi-weekly on basketballnews.com's YouTube feed. And it is called The Goods with Bryan Fonseca. That is me. We're going to be talking about one major topic, one major thing, an overarching theme, if you will, bi-weekly for now. Maybe weekly later on, and maybe expand into some other things as well, interviews and such. But for now, this is what it's going to be. So now that we've established that, today's topic is awards. If you know, you've been following the NBA in particular, it's award season right now. MVP debates, Defensive Player of the Year, Rookie of the Year. It's ending friendships. It's making people lose respect for one another. And you would argue that we're probably not even doing this properly and haven't been for a long time. At least it pertains to this time of year. Here's what I mean. You sort of analyze the list of awards we give out at the end of each regular season. There are a ton of them. MVP, Coach of the Year, Sixth Man, Defensive Player of the Year, Most Improved, Rookie of the Year. We have awards for sportsmanship, community assistance, social justice, citizenship award, Teammate of the Year. You have All Defense, All NBA, All Rookie. Those are all regular season awards. But in the playoffs, you have Finals MVP, you have your champion, and that's it. Even though when we debate NBA players, we usually hold up their playoff success as a reason to, prefer one guy over the other. But how do you weigh playoff success? Well, people usually default to championships. This person made it to X amount of finals or was instrumental in this amount of championship teams, etc., etc. And it's not a bad way to do it, but here's a way that we can sort of help make this a little bit more effective. And the proposal is playoff awards. Because in college, as we mentioned before, in high school, as we mentioned before, and at other levels, you have your all-tournament teams. So why can't we have all NBA for the playoffs? One team each conference, the best 5 guys on the East, the best 5 guys on the West. If you look at somebody like James Harden, for example, he's made 7 all-NBA teams in the regular season. People kill him for his lack of playoff success. What if he only has 3 all-NBA playoff-worthy performances throughout the course of his career, or 4? That would take a dent on his legacy. Then it makes that Allen Iverson debate a little bit more interesting. What if Patrick Ewing, who never won a ring, and people hold that against him, what if he was all-NBA in the playoffs 5 times? Because there is a case. Was he one of the best 5 players in the Eastern Conference playoffs in 1990? Yeah. 92, 93, 94, 95? There are cases all over the place. And it would have done a lot for the legacies of some of the guys we argue about constantly. Some role players would have benefited from this too. Role players who stepped up when people didn't see it coming, who had great playoff stretches. David West in 2014, Roy Hibbert in 2013, potentially Nate Robinson that same year in 2013, Jason Terry in 2011, Lamar Odom 2008 or 2010, because he may have gotten 2. Jalen Rose in 2000, Vinnie Johnson 1989, and so on and so forth. And maybe Robert Horry gets 1 or 2. We talk about him having 7 rings. He came up big for a bunch of teams, including the Houston Rockets, back when Hakeem Olajuwon was there in the mid-1990s. How about the players who were awesome, but their teams weren't very good? Or they just got bounced too soon because they just went up against superior competition, and that's just the way things go sometimes. Trae Young, last year in 2021. Donovan Mitchell in 2020. John Wall in 2017. Ray Allen in 2001 and in 2005. Kevin Garnett in 04. Kenyon Martin in 04. Chris Webber in 02. Maybe Allen Houston in 1998. Maybe there's another Allen Houston season there, right? And then you obviously think of the underrated players who maybe haven't been able to get some regular season hardware because it's hard to obtain, but they came up big in some playoff moments and would have had maybe at least 2 or 3 of these, and in some cases more. Gary Payton, Manu Ginobili, who probably would have had several, Kyle Lowry, James Worthy, Reggie Miller, Steve Nash, and Amari Stoudemire, who were teammates. All NBA for the Eastern Conference playoffs in 2021, Giannis Antetokounmpo, duh. Chris Middleton, Jrue Holiday, Trae Young, Kevin Durant. Pretty straightforward. In the Western Conference, Chris Paul, Devin Booker, Paul George, Donovan Mitchell, Kawhi Leonard, even though he missed some time at the end, he was very good when he played. In 2020, Jimmy Butler, Bam Adebayo, Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Giannis Antetokounmpo, there's a case for one of the Raptors to get in. Pascal Siakam, Fred VanVleet, Kyle Lowry. Do they overtake someone like a Jaylen Brown or even Giannis because he didn't play that long in the playoffs that year? It's possible. It's for y'all to decide. 2020 in the Western Conference, pretty straightforward. LeBron, Anthony Davis, Nikola Jokic, Jamal Murray, possibly Kawhi, possibly Donovan Mitchell, James Harden. That last spot a little bit more up for debate. But that's fun anyway, right? And in 2019, this is noteworthy because it's the last time we had an 82-game season. This is the last playoffs before COVID. So who would have been the standouts that year? In the Eastern Conference, the best five? Kawhi Leonard, for sure. Giannis Antetokounmpo, absolutely. Kyle Lowry, Pascal Siakam, and Jimmy Butler. Remember, the Raptors almost lost that series against the Sixers, and it would have been because of Jimmy Butler, because go look at the stats that Joel Embiid, Ben Simmons, and Tobias Harris put together. But that's another story for another day. And then in the Western Conference, pretty straightforward. Mostly Golden State Warriors, probably the whole entire Big Four. And that would be Draymond Green, Kevin Durant, Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, and either Damian Lillard or CJ McCollum. Potentially both of them if you want to replace one of the Warriors there. Kevin Durant was injured, but he was still Kevin Durant. You know who he is, and he was great. So why should we do it for this year and have it moving forward? All NBA for the playoffs would be better for the league. And I think that some people would be surprised at how many stars would actually have more or less than you would think. So that's important to know. And look at the guys who could potentially get love this year. In the Eastern Conference, you could be talking about Giannis Antetokounmpo, you could be talking about Jimmy Butler, Jason Tatum, Kevin Durant, Joel Embiid, Pascal Siakam, Fred VanVleet, Bam Adebayo, Marcus Smart, Kyrie Irving, Chris Middleton, Drew Holiday, Jaylen Brown, Tyler Hero. You get it. Am I missing somebody? Am I? And then in the Western Conference, you could be talking about, obviously, Devin Booker, Chris Paul, Ja Morant, who may arrive in these playoffs. A lot, I think. Steph Curry, Luka Doncic, DeAndre Ayton, Desmond Bane steps up. Maybe Jaren Jackson Jr. puts it all together. Jordan Poole, Draymond Green. Does Anthony Edwards make his mark? Thank you for watching. This has been The Goods with Bryan Fonseca, the first edition. We're going to come back in a couple weeks with another thought, another thing to look at. And by then, we'll be deeper into the playoffs. So who knows where we could go. Subscribe to Basketball News and follow us on Twitter, Instagram, on all the platforms. Go to the website, read the articles, watch some of these videos, listen to the podcast. There's so much content coming out of basketballnews.com right now that you should check out. Follow me at Bryan Fonseca NY. That's Bryan with a Y and NY as in New York on all social media platforms. And like I said, we'll be back soon. Take care. Thank you for watching.